So tonight we're working on the parry riposte, and we're going to go through like a few of the things that maybe have gone wrong, or that were, I wouldn't even say gone wrong, things that were challenging, things that can go wrong when we're using a parry riposte. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to take a look at, if I could borrow Adam. The first thing we're going to take a look at is a division between two types of parry riposte. And we go over them every semester, but we're going to do some new stuff we haven't done yet either, okay? So the first one is called a beat parry. So he's going to attack my inside line, and maybe I'll just put on my mask. He's going to attack my inside line, and what I do is I beat the attack, and it's not going to be quite like this deep. It's going to be a little bit with the blade, and how I beat it is with a little squeeze of the fingers, and then I hit him afterwards. Okay, the thing that is typically done that's an error in this is they attack the inside and they come across like this and they get doubled. So what we're going to do instead, and drop your hilt so that I can hit you in the head. What we're going to do instead is beat, and then you can still cut two to the face or to the cheek. But the difference is that instead of bringing my arm wide all the way over here where I'm going to get doubled, is I parry and I keep it here. So that worst case, he's going to hit my basket, or he's going to have to disengage and hit me somewhere else if he wants to double me. Okay? So the first one is he's going to attack, parry, riposte. Okay? The next one is the attached version of it, where he attacks, parry, riposte. Okay? So let's start with detached. So we're going to do 5 of those on each side. He's going to attack me. Again. Okay, makes sense? Distance, you should not be parrying very deep. The issue is that if he goes deep against me and I parry here, a lot can go wrong. He can fish around, hit me in a bunch of different places, maybe change angles and hit my arm. So my ideal distance, if he goes close against me, is to step back. And I want to keep it it should not be far past my hilt, just a couple of inches past my hilt. Okay, give it a go. First, attached parry is going to be like the simplest parry you'll ever do, which you're on guard in either an outside guard or a medium, ideally a little bit turned to the outside, and he's literally going to attack right into my guard. Okay, so you attack right into my guard. Yeah, and what he's going to also do is give me a little bit of pressure there. So it's not just going to be like a little whack and then hit. What he's going to do, maybe I'll do it to him first, I'll coach him. Is I'm going to put it there, and he's just going to cut me on the head. The easiest parry you'll ever do, but it is such a useful skill to have. There's so many times where you'll re-guard, like you'll make an attack, boom, get back on guard, and they'll attack right into it, right? So attack into it, boom. Okay, that's an attached parry, because what happens is his sword is attached to mine. And again, ideally, I want to be just a couple of inches past my guard. If it's in close like this, anything can go wrong. You can change angles, hit me here. It's all vulnerable. If I'm right here and he tries that, I have so much time to see what's going on. If he pushes deeper, I'm just a lot safer, okay? So he's going to hit, boom. And if I need to lunge, I can, okay? So he hits, maybe he recovers, and I follow him, okay? Those are kind of your options. So either he goes in deep, boom, stays there, I hit, or he, boom, recovers, and I hit. Okay, give it a try. Okay, so we're going to do just like one other variation. It's really the same thing that we've been doing. I'm going to start from an inside guard this time, and this is our first use of an invitation. So an invitation, it's when you're inviting somebody, you're asking somebody to hit you to an open line. You're closing one line, and you're telling them to hit you somewhere else. And you can make it look really, really tempting. Sometimes if we're floating around, I'll make it look like I've screwed up my guard, right? That's an invitation. Okay, so the difference here is that we're gonna do the outside guard as a parry, okay? The way that we did it before was we did it as a passive guard, so passive guard defense, which means that my tip crossed the center line. I was on guard in like a classic broadsword saber guard where the tip is over here. There are some versions of the guard with the tip over here, or kind of in a neutral position. We did it like this. So the difference is that when I start on an inside guard and I give him that opening, I'm actually going to turn the point of my sword. He attacks, turn the point of my sword like this. So the tip crosses over, and you see how that acts as a ramp to guide his sword to mine? Now, there's another way of doing this, which is as a counterattack. So he attacks here, bomb, counterattack. That's a great one. But today we're going to practice it as a parry riposte. So it's going to be here, pop, ball. Okay, so it's like I'm taking his blade. So I'm here, I cross here, and then I'm just going to do an attached riposte. So I have it. Why would I give that up? Why would I leave there? I have it. Ball. It's going to be a cut 7 or a cut 1. It'd be like this. Probably a 7 is easiest. Got it? Again, the two options for distance are he attacks and doesn't do anything. So, sorry, you attack up, and I can just hit him on a lunge, or he recovers, and I might have to go a little bit farther. You know, maybe it's close and you don't need to lunge at all. Be aware of the distance, hit with the tip of the sword so that you maximize your range. If you notice your sword is going here or the hits are coming in hard, you're probably hitting with the middle of the blade. You want to maximize your reach. The closer you are, the more bad things can happen. All right, give it a try. So we know how to parry riposte, nothing can go wrong, right? No, there's lots of stuff that can go wrong. Like their attack might not be an attack, it could be a feint. So what do you do when you're trying to parry a feint? Wait till that's one approach. That's what some people would tell you. I have a little different approach for that. Yeah, you could use. Oh, that's totally fine. Yeah, like a counterattack, that's a great solution. We're thinking outside the box. So one thing that exists is something called a half parry, and this is what's used to defend against feints. And it's a really, really effective tool because what you're doing is if you don't respond to it until the last second, sometimes the distance will collapse and you might not be able to parry in time, right? So ideally, yeah, if you have perfect distance, you might not need to respond, but there's some people that you'll have to respond against. And you do that with a half parry. So as Adam throws a feint, he's going to go inside and outside. What I'm going to do is I'm going to half parry the inside like this. And you see that I just do that with a turn of my wrist, which means that I don't commit the shoulder. And then if he goes for it, like go for the cut 1, it's really easy for me to get there. Versus if I wait to the last second, I might parry it, I might not. So the half parry is a really, really good thing. Okay? So I'm going to go bum, and then here. And that's not too far away. So both of them are not far away. So all you're doing is you're just turning the hand slightly and following. So the next drill is going to be Adam here, or maybe I'll be the coach if that's okay. I'm either going to throw one attack, or just like a direct attack or an indirect attack, just a straight attack, or I'm going to do a single feint, or I'm going to do a double feint. And so what he's going to do is he's going to use half parries to cover, and then he's going to be in position for the last one. He has to keep distance too, right? Because if I get too close, the half parries aren't going to help, right? We're probably going to double if that happens, right? So I'm going to attack. So boom, boom, oh, pop. Oh, he never screwed up. He didn't screw up once because he used a half parry, right? If he had have done nothing, maybe I would have clipped him on one of them, maybe. So the half parry is a really good tool. Let's give it a try. And rotate part. What's another thing, I've already said, what's another thing that somebody can do that'll make this hard? Like in just a parry riposte, just in general, parry riposte.
If they're attacking that high line and keeping that arm up high.
Yeah. So if they're closing the line, yeah. Definitely. And we should get to that. What I was thinking of was what happened at the longsword tournament, which was successive attacks. So that can be hard sometimes if one of the things is that a lot of times we're playing an open eye game here with feeling and, you know, kind of getting out of distance after you make an attack. There's people that are very good at the distance of closing fast or just closing committed and making successive committed attacks. And I don't think that's something that we've done enough of. It's easy to defend with a broadsword, so it doesn't come up as much. It's harder to defend with a longsword. And the reason why is because attached ripostes are harder with a longsword. You have to do them detached a lot of times, or it's better to just counterattack half the time instead of parry riposting. Okay, but we're going to practice it with this, and we could try it with a longsword at some point. Basically, what we're going to do is one of you is going to be the attacker, and you're going to make 3 attacks. Now, there's 2 ways of winning against this, and one of them is if you feel like you get control on the first or the second parry, and you can do an attached one that cuts off his second attack, go for it. But you'll more likely than not have to wait until the end. So the key thing here is feeling, right? So if I hit your sword like that versus like that, right? So getting that sense of feeling, of pressure against your sword, that's a great time to do an attached riposte. Versus if I feel him leave right away, and this means that there's patience, there's a pause. We used to talk about that a lot. Once you feel the blade contact, you have to pause long enough to assess whether you have it or whether you don't. And that means that it slows down your riposte. The exception to that is when we're really close. If we're really close and he does like an attack right into my guard, I just want to riposte immediately. As soon as we're at that distance. I don't even have to think. But as soon as we're out here, because he could come off, right? He's off. If I went to riposte, it would have been a double. He would have hit me in the flank or the arm or the head, and it would have been pointless for me. So the idea is we want to stop any doubles. Okay, and we'll turn it into a game later, but this is a good one to train with the afterblow. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do as the coaching side of things is I'm going to attack Adam 3 times. So I'm going to go like this, and he's going to riposte. If he can't get it, if he doesn't feel it attached, he can just attack detached at the end, like just like he did. But at one point, if he feels it, just hit. Okay, got it. So it's going to be like this. Oh, moving around. Boom. Moving around. Yeah. What do you do? Let's try it again. Oh, perfect. That's it. Again. Yeah. Didn't have it. Hard. Distance will help you. What was different that time? Distance. That's all it is. So if you can stay out in a position you can parry from, you can parry multiple times. You have all the time in the world to do it. If you get caught in the wrong distance, if someone pressuring you forward catches you, you're screwed. Okay? Give it a try. So again, 3 attacks. If you feel it, you have control, attack early. If not, wait till the 3rd one. Okay, guys, can we just look at one other thing? Because it was something that Nick had said, like if they leave their hilt up, I'm seeing some of us are failing against that. So some of us are, that's totally fine, because we don't have the solution, okay? So if, Adam will attack me, and say I get it, here. But you see his hilt is up, and so if I try to hit him, and here's the thing is maybe I'll put on my mask, if that's okay. Put on my mask. So he attacks me again, I parry it here. His hilt is high. If I hit him here, he's probably going to hit me. If I leave, he's probably going to hit me. So what do I do? Bear the blade, yeah. So you tap, boom, I could bear it, right? And hit him. Totally, that's possible. The other thing that I can do, but that basically what I need to do is move his blade out of the way, right? So if he attacks me again, it's the same thing, boom, I get it, but allow your blade to come low, because you're not attacking me above my head, you gotta tap my head, like that, right? The other thing I can do is this. So it's a transport. There's different ways of doing it, okay? So if he attacks me, and just give it 12 here. One of them is that I can go here and do a flunk and nod, but I have to cover my hand there because he can leave and hit me. That would be what you do in small sword typically. A modern way of dealing with that, same thing, just nice and slow. Boom. Another modern way of dealing with that is I have him here, so I'm just going to transport it to Sagan and hit. That's my favorite. That's my favorite way of doing it. Again, boom. You get that a lot against the Streza guys who hold the sword out and they're always blocking there. And then the other option, which is a broadsword option, is an expulsion. So what you do is, again, boom, it's a spiral disarm, and either thrust or the traditional way is cutting across the stomach. So boom, yeah. So I've dealt with it, I've cleared it out of the way. That one's harder. So out of all of them, what I would say the safest bet is just a thrust. So he's up there right now. But I can't be too close, or else I'll drag it across my own body. I have to be in the perfect distance here. A couple inches past, transport, hit. Okay? So maybe just try that a couple of times. Attacking, leaving the hilt high, transport, thrust to stomach.
Yeah, so.
We're just going to do one other little game, and it's just going to be an invitation game. So one of the ways of getting people to hit you, as I said, is an invitation. So what you're going to practice is just different presentations that make it really juicy for your opponent to attack you where you want them to attack you, in which case you're just going to parry riposte. So that'll just look like, you know, da, 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 or da, 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 da. Right, I got hit there. That was my bad. Let's try that again. Da, da, da. There we go. Distance, right? I let him get a little too close. So you could do it like this here too, boom, right? And he would probably respond. Can I fix that cut? No, you would probably respond like this, because then you get a clear cut of it. Okay, so there we go. Or low, right? Boom, parry riposte. Or I could even present it high, where he might make a thrust or a cut 3 or a cut 5 or 6, right? In which case I'd raise it, right? Riposte. So just imitation. So just practice that anywhere you want. Trying to make them hit you, and you usually do it by pressuring them with footwork or changing a guard. You know, some sort of pressure that makes them want to go for it. All right, let's try it out. Switch partners to rotate. This is probably the easiest way to get somebody to riposte, to give you something, to get a riposte on somebody. And that's with doing like second intention fencing with a counter riposte, right? So the idea is if we're playing a game where we both get points for riposting, or in a bout, if somebody has a really good riposte game and you know that like, oh man, they're very, very good at this, why not just give them what they want, right? So I know Adam is a killer, right, with riposte game. Maybe we're bouting and, oh man, maybe it happens again. Okay, what do I do? Now it's mine. I know he's going to go for it. He feels confident in it. So what you do for that is you attack too shallow and you make him feel like it's good. It's a good idea. You might even stay there a little bit, right? And give it to him. And then at the last second, you know, pop, boom, it's mine. Okay? Counter riposte. So the rhythm of it shouldn't just be like talk, talk, talk. It should be something like talk, talk. Right? And that's how you know it's like an intentional one. It's not just like a failed attack that ends up being a counter riposte. No, this is deliberate and planned. I gave him something that I knew I could recover from. So again, here, I don't want to go too deep. If I do that, I'm screwed. But if something from here, I can get out. Okay? So shallow, but there has to be enough that they believe they have it. All right, give it a try. And rotate partners. Demonstrate the game. The game is just we have an attacker and a defender. The attacker is trying to land an attack. It doesn't have to be simple because we worked on feints, right? We know how to cover feints. We also know how to cover successive attacks. So any attack from them is worth a point. It can't be a counter riposte though, right? It can't be anything like that. It could be a beat attack, whatever. Any defense can leave. So parry riposte, even slip riposte, any riposte from me, counter riposte, anything like that, invitation riposte, okay, is 3 points for me. So we'll have an attacker side, defender side, rotate partners, and we'll start it off. When it gets to 3 points, when somebody gets to 3 points, either by technique of the night or just by other stuff that doesn't count, just stop. Stop immediately and we'll talk about it. Yes.
That's just
All right.
terrain as part of it.
That's right. So, like, it's tough. The defense is tougher. It's a next level strategy, and you really have to use kind of second intention stuff to set it up. So, even though it's a simple parry riposte, a lot of the people that are very good at it use imitations. They're setting it up beforehand, drawing you in, giving you something you think you can get, and then taking that away from you. And that really is like second intention fencing, right? Same thing with the counter riposte. Really good job, everybody. Awesome work. Let's have some fun.
First.